Just yesterday, August 11th, 2020, the Tesla board of directors announced a 5-for-1 stock split, which caused an after-hours stock price surge. In this video, we're going to break down what this means for current Tesla investors, what it means for the Tesla share price, and some of the theory around why a company would split their stock. To get started, we need to understand what a stock split is. So what is a stock split? Essentially, what happens when a company issues a stock split is they alter their share price without altering anything else in terms of the company's valuation. In the case of this 5-for-1 stock split that Tesla will be issuing, that means that every single share of Tesla will effectively turn into 5 shares of stock. So if you own 10 shares of Tesla stock, those 10 shares will turn into 50 shares of Tesla stock. But since the number of shares is increasing by 5, the share price actually gets divided by 5. So a 5-for-1 stock split means that there will be 5 times as many shares outstanding than there are currently, but the share price will be reduced by a factor of 5. If you're new to the channel and you have absolutely no idea who I am, please consider checking out some of my YouTube videos on my channel and consider subscribing if you like the content that I'm doing here. So let's go through the exact numbers to see exactly how this stock split is going to work. I'm going to round these numbers to make the calculations a little easier, but right now Tesla's share price is around $1,500 per share, and the number of shares outstanding is somewhere around 186 million shares. If we multiply Tesla's current share price of $1,500 by the number of shares outstanding, which is 186 million shares, we get a market capitalization or public market valuation of Tesla of $279 billion. And if we issue a 5-for-1 stock split, we will essentially take the $1,500 share price and divide it by 5 to get a share price of $300. But we will also take the number of shares outstanding of 186 million and we will multiply that by 5. Giving us a new number of shares outstanding of 930 million. If we take Tesla's share price of $300 and multiply it by the new number of shares outstanding of 930 million, we get the same exact market capitalization as before, coming out to $279 billion. So through a stock split, a company's valuation does not change, and the values of investor positions also do not change. The only two things that change going through a stock split are the share price, which in this case will be reduced by a factor of 5, and the number of shares outstanding, which will be increased by a factor of 5. So by adjusting those two things by the same magnitude, we get the same exact market capitalization or public valuation for Tesla, but the number of shares outstanding and the share price will change. So what are the implications of a stock split and why do it? As I mentioned earlier, the primary reason for issuing a stock split is to reduce the share price. With Tesla's share price at $1,500, reducing that number to around $300 makes Tesla's shares much more accessible to smaller investors. And by making the shares accessible to a larger pool of investors, theoretically, we will see an increase in demand for Tesla shares, which could lead to a further increase in the stock price. So basically what I'm saying is that all of the Tesla-hungry Robinhood traders that could not previously afford Tesla shares at $1,500 a share will now be able to pile in en masse at $300 per share. Now in reality, it's very unlikely that a smaller investor or even a large number of small investors could cause a significant change in the price of Tesla's shares. Given that Tesla has a market capitalization of around $280 billion, even multiple millions of dollars would not be enough to move the stock price significantly. But regardless, by reducing the share price of Tesla, a larger pool of investors will have access to investment in Tesla shares, which is a good thing, regardless of what company we are talking about. This is a completely different angle, and it's just my opinion, but I think psychologically speaking, by issuing a stock split, you can help people forget about how expensive a stock has become in recent years. And an example of this would be Apple. So a number of years ago, Apple issued a 7-for-1 stock split, and this is when they were trading around $700 per share, which means they took their shares from $700 to around $100. And as of today, the share price of Apple is around $450. If we multiply $450 by their previous stock split of 7, we actually get a share price of $3,150. So today, if you saw Apple trading at $3,150, it would seem a lot more shocking than the current share price of $450, even though that when we adjust for the split, we get the same exact market capitalization or company valuation. But the lower share price certainly reduces the sticker shock. Speaking of stock splits, what's Amazon doing? So what will happen to Tesla after this 5-for-1 split? Time will tell. But I do think in general, it is a very good thing to reduce the share price through a stock split to make your shares more accessible to a larger pool of investors, especially the little guys that can't otherwise afford your shares and therefore cannot get invested and participate in the company's success. So I think doing a stock split to reduce the share price is a very good thing, because not only does it open it up to a larger pool of investors, but you are actually allowing those smaller investors to get invested without over allocating. So for example, if someone only had $5,000 and they wanted to invest in Tesla, if they invested in one share of Tesla at $1,500, that would represent around 33% of their overall account value. But when you reduce the share price to $300, now the investor has a little bit more flexibility and they can buy one share of Tesla for $300. And in the context of their $5,000 account, that means that their Tesla position takes up less than 10% of their overall portfolio, which is a much better thing in terms of risk. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you obliterated that like button down below, as the YouTubers would say, and leave me a comment to let me know what you liked or disliked about this video. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you're brand new to the channel and you have no idea who I am, please consider checking out some of the other videos on my channel, as there might be something that could benefit you. My name is Chris Butler, and I will see you all in the next video.